Contrary to what many people think, southern Texas isn't a foreign country. It just looks like it. You know, this used to be part of the prairies, the Great Plains, all the way from the Dakotas, clear down to the Gulf of Mexico. This big flat country was prime habitat for bison, pronghorns, and prairie chickens. Well, what happened here was when man moved in with his cattle, the mesquite and other brush species came up from Mexico, the cattle ate the grass, the brush grew up, and now the habitat is completely changed. The bison are gone, the prairie chickens are gone, and the pronghorn are gone. But in their place, living in these thickets, whitetails. Hi, I'm Ron Spomer, and this is Winchester Legends.
Yeah, plenty may have changed since Davy Crockett defended the Alamo, but Texas remains a shining star in the constellation of whitetail hunting dream states. Come along as we explore a tiny piece of it.
Oh man, is he tall.
That's a good deer.
Whoa.
From the spirit of adventure and the heartbeat of the hunt. It's what you trust, it's what you keep, it's Winchester. We're what you trust, we're what you keep. We're Winchester.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. Swarovski Optic. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest secure in-vehicle storage systems. SOS Outdoor Products, quality gear for the outdoor enthusiast. She Safari, clothing for her expedition.
South Texas, right by the Rio Grande River, may not look like classic whitetail habitat, but no one's told the deer. They think brush and cactus are pure paradise. So do Richard and Hardy Jackson. Consider the Lone Star State and Campos Viejos Ranch the perfect venue for practicing cutting-edge whitetail management near Rio Grande City.
Our family decided to buy this property in 2001, really. And my son and Hardy and I have been wanting to do this for some years. I've hunted in South Texas for 25 years, and he started hunting here in his youth about 10 years ago.
We purchased it, and I moved on down and started running it in 2001, and we started our management program then.
We have produced 180 class deer in each of the last 3 years of this program that we've been under since '01. We did it with the great help of our good friend David Morris and our good friend Gary Schwartz, who are pioneers in this type management.
We're doing what's called a management hunt in Texas, and that is the landowners need someone to take bucks that are genetically inferior, which would be, say, a fully mature animal of 4 or older that just doesn't produce the antler that they're looking for. If they can take out, say, the 3x3s that are over 4, they're not going to be breeding that line of 3x3 antlers into the herd. So by constantly removing the smaller animals, they get a better overall quality in their bucks. So you generally go with a guide who will tell you, no, that one's too young, yes, this one's too old, this one's too big. You know, it's really funny because you look at so many good animals and you don't understand why you can't shoot them. So if you've got the patience and you can hang with the guy, it's educational, it's really interesting, and when you do take a buck, I mean, for most of us, a 140, 130 class buck is a heck of an animal. Golly, that's just sighted dead on. The windage is just perfect.
Somebody's been going to church.
Yeah. Let's just see how close this one lands to where these other ones are.
What's this bullet called?
It's an XP3.
This is a deeper penetration bullet than the old PowerPoint bullet.
Because it retains almost 100% of its weight. Because it has that hollow copper nose in it. So when that polycarbonate tip drives back in, it peels back, and you get that mushrooming you're showing right here.
Right.
And then the lead inside kind of swells, pushes forward, bunches up, and bulges out again.
But the back stays together.
Back stays together because they've got the lead insert completely surrounded by the copper jacket, so it can't come apart, can't go anywhere. It's a heck of a deep penetrating bullet.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
I think it's fine.
Oh, good. Well, we're set then.
right, pull up just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, he's right. There's a
Yeah,
big
that one,
deer.
that one.
Big deer. All right, tell me when to shut off.
Oh,
That is a big
he
deer.
is a monster.
That is a big deer.
And I know that's the one you want me to shoot.
Unfortunately, he's only 4.
I knew
He's a
that.
little too young.
I knew that. Let's go find some more.
All right, sounds good.
Show me that 180.
Try to find him.
There he is!
Whitetails aren't the only game at Campos Viejos. Hardy has spotted some javelina. Time for a start.
Javelina's right here, Ron. Javelina's right here.
Yeah, I see him.
All right, let's just ease right up here. They're kind of around that little mesquite tree. Other things we do here when you're here at Campos Viejos is not just come to kill a buck. We have some javelina, and Ron and I were able to actually go on a pretty fun little javelina stalk. That big one steps out behind that mesquite tree. Go ahead and take him.
I got a tree in the way right
Yeah.
now. Hang on a second.
Ready?
Here we go.
Here we go.
He's starting to run. Oh, gotta get in the brush.
Good shot. Good shot.
Right down.
Drilled him.
All right. I can't catch my empties anymore.
That's all right. Good shooting. We found a few by a little water hole, and we crept up there and got a shot at one. And they're neat to take. And we've got a lot of local guys around here that want to eat them, and they'll barbecue them up for people if they want them.
Little buggers. They look bigger than they are, but
Oh, I know it. No, they don't end up being that big.
half head.
Yep. There we go.
Oh, look at those little bitty feet. They're so tiny.
Absolutely.
But, you know, they're not really pigs.
No,
You look at that snout and you look
There's
at those
something
big
kinda
old
different.
choppers on them. You know, they look like they're pigs, but they're not. They're kind of related to them. But tell you what, you take the front half, I'll take the back half.
Okay.
And we'll head for the cooker with
Sounds
this
good.
girl.
Everything down here is just thick, thick brush cover. And these deer move in and out of it everywhere. There are no set trails necessarily. A deer could just be 5 feet away, you know, you'd never see it. So what we try to do is go in and cut these big senderos, these big lanes, and we use those as kind of our meadows and our travel corridors, and that's how we try to go and hunt.
Oh, here's one, Hardy.
Yeah, okay. I think it's all 3 fawns, Ron.
No bucks at all?
No, I don't think so. I think it's all 3 button bucks.
Really? All button bucks?
All 3.
Oh yeah. It's got to be fun to manage your property and see that results like that.
It is. It
Watch
is.
those deer grow up. How long you been managing now? Did you say 6 years?
6 years. This is our 6th year.
Oh, that's got to
And
be
it takes time, but boy, once it starts paying off, it's a lot of fun.
That's got to be
Let's
a
see,
kick.
on up here's another one around the corner.
I won't argue about the brush thickness. I mean, this stuff is really nasty, but it's not consistently that thick. There are some openings in there, and if you can ease from spot to spot, and especially like Hardy showed me, go to those cuts, those senderos, and slip in and look down them. Works great.
Whoa, there's one. There's one. Yeah. Looks like a buck. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a good deer. Go ahead and set up. He is wide. Wide one. Yeah. Dang. That's a heck of a buck right there.
Oh, there he goes.
He's a little too young. He's a little too young anyway.
See? Why?
24, 25 inside.
Whoa.
Just 4.5 years old.
Man, I didn't get much of a look at him. I would have had to be shooting right away on him.
Yeah.
Do you think he was?
4.5.
Man. That's probably the second widest deer I've ever seen.
He's out there. He's out there.
Yeah.
Probably about
That was
155,
impressive.
160 inch deer. Really nice buck.
I wish he'd have stayed around.
Yeah.
Man.
There, he's got a good little form. That's a pretty big deer in the back there.
Yeah, but look at the mass on his antlers. They're past his ears. He's got that little drop tine. Gorgeous buck.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. Swarovski Optic. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest secure in-vehicle storage systems. Otis Technology, from the front lines to the hunt of a lifetime, the most advanced gun cleaning systems in the world.
You know, a standard safety rule in hunting is to not use your scope as a binocular to look at game. If you're putting your scope on something, you should be ready to shoot it. not looking for it. That's what a binocular is for. A binocular is much more effective anyway. You'll notice in this hunt, I'm actually using my rifle and my scope a lot. Well, that's because we're doing a special management hunt, and I'm not just going to be shooting a buck, I have to shoot a very specific buck. And the manager, my guide, Hardy, is going to be telling me which deer that is. So he's using my binocular to assess the deer, but I've got to be ready to shoot quickly because in these little senderos, that buck could zip across the road pretty quickly.
Got deer right there. Deer right there. Get set up. That's a heck of a deer. That's a heck of a buck. Oh man, is he tall?
That's a good deer.
Oh,
He's a little too big, I'm afraid.
I know, yeah, you're not gonna let me shoot him, are you?
This is not what you call a management buck?
No. That's a soon-to-be trophy. That's a 5.5-year-old, about a 160, I'd say. Not real wide, but man, has he got tines.
Oh my gosh, the tine length is just unbelievable.
Big brows, 13-inch twos. That's a big deal.
So the neat thing about this management program of yours is you can tell your clients what. Do you tell them not to shoot this deer?
We don't shoot this deer this year. Now next year, somebody will get to enjoy this deer.
If he had 2 more inches of spread on him,
Wow, he'd be something. He's already something.
oh man, I mean, I would happily shoot him. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Let's go find the one for you, though.
Okay.
That's what we need to do.
So we're looking for an old deer with a small rat.
Absolutely.
Passing up big bucks to look for a smaller one is passing strange to Spomer. Like most hunters, he normally spends his season prospecting for the big boys. He's learning restraint on this classic Texas management hunt. Keep hunting.
Something moved.
Oh, yeah, right there on the left-hand side.
Left, just I saw something dark move. I see it now.
Yeah, there's a big deer right there, Ron. Let's get set up.
It's a big buck.
I'm guessing you're not going to let me shoot this one, are you?
No, he's a little too big and certainly too young.
Still, it's just exciting to see guys like this.
Boy, he's a heck of a buck.
When I saw those antlers, I thought, here's a 5-year-old buck.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just massive. Yet, I see the neck now, and you're right. He's just a little bit skinny, yet you don't have that. He doesn't look like a football mind.
No, that's right. Got that thin chest, thin neck.
Bigger
Yeah.
than their head now.
That's what we're trying to produce here, deer like that.
Yeah, but you see, on public land hunting, you'll never accomplish that.
No.
Anybody would shoot. I would shoot.
I would shoot that deer too on public land. There's no doubt about it.
That's what's unique about being able to manage the harvest like this.
Yep.
And
That's right.
yeah, that's one of the benefits, definitely the benefit of having a private land management.
You know, the biggest misconception I think around the country is that we don't have good genetics. The fact is you're probably not letting your deer get old enough. We'll take some of our lesser deer at 4 and 5, where we try to keep our bigger deer till at least 6. And you know, once you do that, you'll see the genetics probably aren't too far behind.
I've been hunting whitetails for a long time, and I think I'm pretty good about telling a young one from an old one. But Hardy, with his ability to photograph these deer year after year and see them on his trail cams and get some video on them, he has really got it down to a science.
Hardy, I think we've got something down here.
I see something there. He's got to get a little farther. That's a pretty big deer in the back there.
Ooh, is that a shooter?
Get set up there.
Gotta clear
He's
this.
got the size we're looking for. We just need to check his age.
Please be the right age. I'm liking what I see so far.
He's got a drop tine on the right side. Looks like about 3 inches. I think he's a couple years too young though, Ron. He looks like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, I can see his belly
Yeah.
sucked up a little bit yet above his chest. He doesn't have that level.
No, he's got that good kind of thoroughbred horse look to him, you know, real muscular.
Yeah, but look at the mass on his antlers. They're past his ears. He's got that little drop tine. Gorgeous buck. Man.
Now, in 2 years, if you want to come back, we can make a deal on him. He'll
Oh,
be ready
yeah.
to go then.
I
He'll be
want
ready
to.
go.
You bet. You sure? I could take him right now.
No, that's okay.
If
We'll
you-
give him another 2 years.
I've always been able to tell a yearling buck from a 2-year-old from a mature deer. It's that 3, 4-year-old,
Right.
5-year-old right in there. You start to say, you know, is he really that old? And I'm seeing it now that you've pointed a few
Right,
things out.
right.
You could very quickly pick that up. So
Yep.
it's an education.
Yeah, and then, you know, again, the great thing out here, repetition. You get to see enough of it where you start to see that difference.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what makes it so neat.
yeah. That really is special. Let's do some more of it.
Yeah,
This-
let's do it. We got another one down here.
I
we
mean,
can walk to.
it's fun just to see him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Until we find that one special guy, I mean, this is great. Look, he's got a deep chest on him. His neck comes just right down. Big, blocky looking guy.
Oh yeah, he's old. He's good to go. He's good to go. When you try to take that deer, you can.
Boy, that's pretty far for an offhand shot.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. She Safari, clothing for her expedition. SOS Outdoor Products, quality gear for the outdoor enthusiast. Otis Technology, from the front lines to the hunt of a lifetime, the most advanced gun cleaning systems in the world.
You know, hunters are of two schools of thought when it comes to bullet performance in the animal. The old school likes all of the energy to be deposited in the animal, and they like the old soft-nosed traditional jacketed bullet because you get maximum mushrooming and expansion of that bullet, so you get a bigger wound channel. The downside to it, in my estimation, is that the bullet rarely passes completely through the animal. For that, I like something like the XP3, which has its two-stage expansion, so there's plenty of knockdown power. Plus, you get consistent mushrooming, probably not as much as with the soft nose, but the bullet retains almost 100% of its weight and generally passes through the animal. This leaves two holes, and you've got much better chance for blood trailing. If I'm in a dry environment in which it's difficult to follow tracks, I like to have a blood trail so I can find my animal. What's your favorite? Pretty much up to you. You've got to decide. The old traditional soft nose with maximum expansion in that lead bullet, or the new deep penetrating pass-through bullet like the XP3. They both work for me. I have found that those deer consistently hunted from a tree year after year will actually look up for danger more than down. And I have good luck hunting on the ground in those situations. I think the same thing applies here. The deer for so many generations now have been hunted from those box blinds and tripod blinds that they really don't know what a foot hunter is. Several times we would have big, fairly old bucks stand and look at us for 5-10 minutes, not know what we were.
Well, he's a nice buck.
If he stays that stupid, he's not going to last long.
No, he doesn't know what we are walking around down here.
How far is this next one up here?
It's just right around the corner right here.
Right on his bend.
Well, you know, we had moved through several senderos, and we'd seen some nice deer, some too big, some not big enough, and we finally came to that one sendero there, and it didn't look like much was going on. There was a black buck there and a doe or two, but really not much.
Oh, it's just a little far. Oh, there's a there, yeah. An 8-point, it's an old deer. Look, he's got a deep chest on him, his neck comes just right down. Big, blocky looking guy.
Oh yeah, he's old. He's good to go, Ron. He's good to go. We need to try to take that deer if we can.
Oh, man, that's pretty far for an offhand shot, though. I forgot my shooting sticks. I forgot my tripod.
Let me go get the tripod for that camera. It's back at the truck. Let me run back and get it.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah. When we found the buck, I had left my shooting sticks behind. Fortunately, Hardy was doing a little bit of video work, and he had brought his big tripod along, and he got tired of carrying that and had left it behind at one point too, but he was close enough that he was able to run back and get it, and that's what I used for my shooting support. There's a doe coming out. Wait a minute, I think I see his antler tips.
He should be right up on swell, Ron.
Yeah, I think I see him. Just past that back buck.
Yeah.
That's him. He's lying down, I think. And he's got a little doe in front of him. I can't shoot that little doe.
These black bucks are gonna get him up. They're gonna get him up.
Oh, they're coming over.
Here they come, here they come.
Stop. There he is.
Take him. You hit him hard. You hit him hard. Nice. Awesome. That was an awesome talk.
Oh man,
That was great, man. That was
I
great.
wouldn't have thought I'd get that excited about a management buck.
Yeah, but it's.
I tell you, anytime you're stalking a deer,
That's
it's
right.
exciting.
That's right. And you know, the other thing is, it's not just a management buck. You're shooting a 7 or 8 year old whitetail.
That's a smart old buck. I don't care what the antlers look like when you live that many years.
That's right. You learn a few things.
Some of the black bucks kind of spooked and eased down there. When they did, they jumped him up. He moved to the back end of the sendero. Ron was able to take him. Made a heck of a shot at him, about a 250-yard shot. Hey, Ron, here he is right here.
You got him?
Yeah, here he is
All
right
right.
here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see him through there now.
What a neat
All
old
right.
buck.
Is he pretty cool?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is old, too. What a great old deer.
Oh yeah.
What a great old deer.
That's a nice rack. Oh, look at his deep chest. Sure.
Yeah, that
our
is an
boy.
old man right there.
All right.
Congratulations, Ron.
Thanks for
Beautiful old buck.
Yeah, look at his dark
Boy.
hocks on him.
Oh, yeah. He is 7 or 8 years old. He's getting all pinchy in the hips. Got that
Look at
big,
that
oh,
arch.
yeah, look at all that.
He's all been rubbing and
Yep.
rutting.
Look at that chin flap.
Getting
Roman
a little bit of
nose,
Roman
yep.
nose on him and getting gray.
Big wrinkle.
Those are all the signs, huh? Wrinkles in
Absolutely.
the ears.
Absolutely.
Little flap under here. Look at that.
That is awesome.
Loose neck.
That's awesome.
And a big neck. Look at how wide that neck
Oh
is.
yeah. That's the kind of
12
guy we're
inches.
here to kill. That's a great old buck right there.
You know, Texas deer hunting is sort of a two-edged sword. You know, on the one hand, they've got some incredible deer, and they're famous for those deer. On the other side of it, though, is that almost all of it is on private land. And unless you've got the shekels to hand over for a hunt, you know, there's just no free public hunting down in Texas. But if you've got a little bit of money and you want a good deer hunt where you've got an excellent chance at an old age class deer, boy, it's hard to beat Texas.
For more information about Winchester products, log on to winchester.com.